Hey guys, it's Mason, and today we're going to be talking about the essential toolkit to repair Game Boys. So this right here is my tool chest. This is just a tackle box. I bought it for $5 at Walmart. And inside of it, I keep everything, all the essentials that I need to repair any sort of Game Boy. So the number one thing that you need to repair a Game Boy, and I've said this many times before, is a TriWing screwdriver. Now this is a special type of screwdriver that Nintendo made so people couldn't break into their stuff, and without it you can't break into their stuff. It's just that simple. But I bought this one for about $2 from eBay. You can buy nicer ones, but for me, cheaper is better. So that's this TriWing screwdriver that I use. The next most important thing that you need if you're going to be repairing your Game Boy is isopropyl alcohol, or IPA. Now this is a type of alcohol that I just barely bought. I actually haven't even used it yet. Normally I've just used the stuff you get from the store, but because of COVID-19 there's been a huge shortage in alcohol in the United States. So I bought this from Amazon, and it specifically is for electronics. You really want to stay above 90% purity isopropyl alcohol if you're going to be working with electronics. The purpose is just that it evaporates faster. It can take off a lot of gunk a lot better than just water can, and water is going to get in there and corrode and destroy your Game Boy. So make sure that you use above 90% isopropyl alcohol. That is a non-negotiable for fixing Game Boys. The next most important thing in my toolkit is a toothbrush, and this one is really near and dear to my heart because I am going to dental school right now, and so using a toothbrush to fix Game Boys is really exciting for me. I would not recommend using your own personal toothbrush, but just you can get a 10-pack for $1 at Walmart or whatever is going to be a great way for you to get that isopropyl alcohol into your system. Now, the other vehicle of transmission for isopropyl alcohol are Q-tips. This is an essential thing. It's very difficult to adequately clean a Game Boy without a Q-tip. You need this to clean up the battery contacts. You also need this to clean up where the buttons meet the motherboard and clean up those contacts as well. You need a Phillips head screwdriver to fix your Game Boy. Now, I was lucky when I bought my TriWing screwdriver. It came with a Phillips head as well. I got a whole bunch of these laying around. You're gonna need those because normally on the motherboard of a Game Boy, it's tied in there with a Phillips head as well. Now the rest of these tools are things that I like to use, that I use every single day in cleaning Game Boys, but they're not necessary if you're gonna do just the most basic fixes. One of the more advanced but really necessary things that I would recommend you buy is actually a soldering iron. Now this is a soldering iron that I bought from Amazon for 25 bucks. Once again, I believe cheaper is better, and this has worked for everything that I've ever needed to solder. The brand is Ainbez. It's obviously an off-brand soldering iron. It's not like a very recognizable brand, but it came with this handy carrying case, and inside I have all these fun toys. And really all that a soldering iron does is it just gets really hot so you can melt down some of the metal on your motherboard, and it makes it so you can connect other types of wires and all sorts of fun things. So I'll leave a link to this one that I bought in the description. I'm not sponsored or anything because I only have like 16 followers, but if it works for you, then that'll put a smile on my face. While I do believe isopropyl alcohol kind of is the end-all be-all for cleaning Game Boys, you do want a little bit of vinegar around the house. And this right here is just distilled white vinegar. I think I bought this whole thing for $1. And it's really good for getting rid of corrosion, and especially for Game Boys where they've left the batteries in for too long or water has gotten in there, it's going to be really corroded, and using a little bit of vinegar is a really fast way to just strip that. And generally vinegar isn't going to do anything too bad to your Game Boy. It's only going to repair it. Another chemical that I really like to use is Goo Gone. Now this is a sticker adhesive remover, and you can buy it in almost any grocery store. You can just use isopropyl alcohol to get rid of those pesky stickers on your Game Boys, but I found that Goo Gone just really gets it off really nicely, and it also doesn't dry out your Game Boy like isopropyl alcohol would. So I would recommend always using this if you have some sort of really bad sticker or really bad adhesive. But once again, this is kind of a little extra. You can just use isopropyl alcohol as well. Another really important thing in your repertoire of Game Boy repair tools are actually sticky notes. Now, you can use really any type of paper, but I love to use sticky notes just because if you find something that's wrong with your Game Boy and you gotta step away, just write it down on that sticky note, slap it on the Game Boy, it's not gonna hurt it, and it's a really good way to keep track of what you're doing. Also, if you watch my past videos, you know that I use these to rub off the black ends of the controller membranes. That is making it so that you're able to push the button and it receives proper feedback. These are great for that. Another tool I really like to use for fixing Game Boys are tweezers. Now I have these little tweezers. It's really nice just to be able to get something out of there or pry around, poke around on your Game Boy and not damage it. So I would recommend getting just a good sturdy pair of tweezers. You can get them once again for really cheap at almost any store. A tool that I find essential when fixing Game Boys is an X-Acto knife, because a lot of times you need to scrape something off, pry something off, especially if you're changing that polarizing filter on the screen of your Game Boy like we talked about in other videos. You need something that can get under there and slice it off. So an X-Acto knife is great for that. I would recommend having one with some spare blades available for you to just slice anything that you need. Also, some IPS screen mods that you can do for your Game Boy require you to cut the shell slightly and to modify it, so you really need an X-Acto knife for that. I would also recommend a small pair of pliers or cutters for you to use to just snap off the pieces of shell that are in the way of your IPS screen. So this was just the essential toolkit for cleaning and fixing your Game Boys in the most basic way possible. If you want to go on and do mods or more complex repairs, you're going to need a little bit more in your toolkit. So make sure to check out my other videos if you want to see different ways that you can mod your Game Boy or repair them, as I do use a few other things or other chemicals in those videos. But thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you like this content, let me know in the comment section. Let me know what you'd like to see more of. Thanks.